Thank you very much for listening to this week's talk on the Seder of Bemidbar as we are approaching the festival of Shavuot, the Zman Matan Toratenu, the festival that we reenact. It's a historical commemoration, but it's something that actually we experience on a constant basis. The giving of the Torah is something that we talk about in the present tense, and it is something that is given to us and that we accept constantly throughout our lives. And it's nothing being a coincidence. We are also celebrating Yom Yerushalayim on the 28th of Iyar. This week it is Monday night and Tuesday, and the question that is often asked is, perhaps we would have expected the Torah, which we will receive, please God, next week. We will commemorate the original receiving of the Torah on Shavuot, that perhaps we would have expected the Torah to be given in Yerushalayim, in the Bet HaMikdash. And the fact that we have the miracle of Yom Yerushalayim so close to Shavuot, that is something that is really on the journey. But the idea that the Torah is given in a midbar is something that we're going to just flesh out in greater detail. And this learning is given as we are coming up to these really important times in our calendar. It is dedicated to the prayers for the speedy and safe release and return of all of the hostages, and the safety and success of all of the soldiers in the IDF as they are fighting this vital mission. They have this task to defend the land of Israel and the people of Israel in the land of Israel and beyond, all over the world. And I want to mention a few connections, but perhaps add some insights as well into the reason that invariably we read the Seder of Bemidbar before Shavuot. And although we've left the wilderness behind, we've had the Ma'amad Har Sinai and the Seder of Yisro in Shemos, and we are suddenly starting the new book with the Seder of Bemidbar, the book of Bemidbar. And there are many connections that are made between this Seder and the festival of Shavuot. And I want to actually focus on, first of all, this idea that we are a wilderness. A midbar is a place of emptiness, of no habitation, very little life. It is effectively a blank sheet. And I think that makes it a very appropriate environment to receive the Torah, because when we receive the Torah, we need to be empty vessels, as it were, receptacles to receive the word of Hashem. And in the distractions of the city, in the distractions of a lot of noise and hustle and bustle, then it is not always possible to have that level of introspection. And when we say Na'aseh v'nishma, that we do, and this word of Shema, which means processing, understanding, but there's also this concept of hearing. And if there's so much extraneous noise, sometimes we can drown out the important sounds that we need to hear, especially when it comes to Matan Torah, the gift of Torah, the giving of Torah, and the receiving of Torah. So I think the first aspect we can appreciate is that this is like an opportunity of a blank sheet in this concept of midbar. The second aspect is this concept of the journey, because we start this Seder with the journeyings which are going to take place in the Midbar. And although it was meant to be a much shorter sojourn in the Midbar, and it turned into a 40-year sojourn, but it's still a journey. And our lives, we can compare our lives to a journey. And we're often focused on arriving at a destination. And a destination obviously is your goal, is your target. But the value and the potential of the learning experience of this particular journey, a journey that is mandated by Hashem, That is something that enables us to grow and to realize that everything that we're experiencing in our lives is part of Hashem's plan. And it's not just a means to an end. It's not just going through the Midbar, the wilderness, to reach Eretz Yisrael, the promised land, but it is, with all of its challenges, with all of its ups and downs, with all of the unique features that are present in the Midbar, in the book, as we will go through the sojourn of the Bnei Israel in the Midbar, we have this value of the actual journey itself. And so that's another important message of the Sedra of Bemidbar and the book of Bemidbar. And just to look, it's interesting to note that in the Sedra of Bamidbar, there are actually no mitzvot. And so really we are starting this book, this journey, understanding that the journey itself has a very, very large part to play in our nationhood as we are maturing from the Exodus, from Pesach, from leaving Egypt as slaves, and then becoming the kind of people who are able to go into the land of Israel and live according to the Torah that we receive in the Midbar. The third vital lesson that we learn in this week's Sedra is the importance of Seder, order. And again, we're often connecting the concepts, the line between Pesach and the freedom that we experienced on Pesach, but freedom from Paro, but freedom to serve Hashem. So it's not freedom, do what we like. We can see all around us today many examples of what happens when people do what they like, and it's anarchy and it's destruction. But freedom, true freedom, is that ability to be a servant of Hashem. And from Pesach, we have the Seder night. We realize the importance of Seder at that point. And here in the Seder that we read this week, we also realize the importance of Seder. You could have thought they're in the wilderness now. They don't need to bother about any particular details. They don't have to be tidy. They don't have homes. So that they don't have the normal frameworks that you perhaps would associate with Seder. But no, when they arrive in the Midbar, we are told in this Sedra of Midbar that they have to be encamped in a particular fashion. And so we have the tribes arranged around the Mishkan, and we have the everything is mapped out, everything is in this particular order mandated by Hashem. And this is the desert encampment. So the value of Seder is shown in this place, in this environment, where perhaps we think we can just be free and easy and not worry about Seder. The importance to the human condition of having this orderly arrangement is something that the Torah is teaching us by giving us the configuration of the tribes that we have mapped out for us in this week's Sedra. And we then come to this idea of diversity and unity. And that is something that follows on from that diagram that we just looked at. In each of the 12 tribes, we've got the opportunity for diversity. We've got the tribal loyalties. We've got a smaller group unit where people will know each other and they'll be able to form connections and they'll have that tribal loyalty. Yet that is something that diversity could also bring with it discord and the fact that people will have their loyalty to their tribe, but not to somebody who is not from their tribe. And on the other hand, we want to give people the opportunity to have their individual groupings and to form these closer relationships that can often happen with a smaller group. However, it will only work when everybody is united around the Mishkan, united around the Torah. And again, as we stand ready to receive the Torah, then this is something, on the one hand, each individual accepts the Torah personally, yet on the other hand, we have our unity as a people, and we see this in the expression in Shemos, in Yisro Vayichan, and the people were encamped, and Rashi comments, and they were encamped, and the people encamped, K'ish echad belev echad, like one man with one heart. So this incredible feeling of, on the one hand, I'm experiencing this unity, this with Hashem, this acceptance, my own personal acceptance of the Torah. Yet on the other hand, it is done as part of the group, as part of the nation. So this is another important lesson that we learn from the fact that in this Sedra of Bemidbar that we read before Shavuot, we have got 12 tribes, each of them with their particular flag, with their talents, with their jobs and their mission, yet they are united around the Torah. And not only that, they are given a specific place. They're not choosing to go off on a limb of their own. They are told where they must be. And so this again is another indication that all our diversity, all our individuality has to come from the where Hashem is putting us. And we have to understand that we have been put in a certain place by Hashem, and that is our job description, and we are the ones who then have to take that mission and make it everything that we can. And the final point that I want to make on the contents of this week's Sedra is that the book of Bamidbar is also called Chumash HaPekudim, which literally means the book of numbers, and that's the English word for it, numbers. And that's because there are sensai that Hashem commands Moshe and Aaron to count the people. And there is this idea that everyone counts. And we have the concept of each letter in the Sefer Torah corresponds to a member of Yisrael. And there is the halacha that a letter in the Sefer Torah must be surrounded, each letter has to be surrounded by parchment, by white. There's no joined up letters. And that is this idea that each letter stands alone on the one hand, on the other hand, it's part of a word, yet you'll never have a situation where the letters are touching each other, because there is this concept that every single person counts. So when there is a census, this is not just a number. And the word in the Pasuk in the Sedra gives us this idea when we have at chapter 1, verse 2 of Bamidbar, Su'u Esrosh Kol Adasis B'nai Yisrael, literally raise the head of the whole of the congregation of the children of Israel, Lemishpachosom, according to their families, Leves Avosom, according to the house of their fathers, B'mispar Shemos, the number of their names, literally. And well, you could say, if you're doing numbers, if you're doing a census, then you're not talking about names. Why is it the number of names? Either you're counting people or you're giving a register of names. And the idea is that the Ramban actually picks up on this, that Moshe and Aaron, as they counted the people, each individual that as they were counted was made to feel like they counted, they were important, they mattered. And this was a unique aspect of the leadership of Moshe and Aaron, of the gift, the ability to make a large group of people not feel like a large group of people, but to feel like each one was able to feel that individual connection with our greatest leaders. And this is very much something that is a theme of Matan Torah, of the giving and the receiving of the Torah. And we have the idea that the people who were physically present were there, but the neshamas, the souls of all of Bnei Yisrael, all of the people of Israel, who were before and after that event, were present at Har Sinai as well, at the giving of the Torah. And when we reflect on that, and we feel the value of each individual, and this is something that we are experiencing now as we are navigating the journey of the challenges that we face, and we are davening, we are asking Hashem to grant our prayers that every single one of the hostages, each of them names individuals, people who count, and all of the soldiers always names people who count. Everybody has a value, everybody is important to us, whether we are related to them, whether we are friendly with them. We have this sense of the value of each human life, of the unique contribution that everybody can make. And all of these themes come together in the Sedra that we read before the festival of Shavuot, in the fact that we are taken back to the giving of the Torah in the Midbar, and all of the lessons that we can learn from that geographical detail, which we could have thought isn't really central. We can just focus on the Torah, on the Aseret HaDibrot, on the experience at Sinai, but no, the importance of the location. Everything is planned, everything is part of Hashem's design, and it is a way, an opportunity for us to learn and to grow from all of these details. Wishing everybody, first of all, we have the festival, the Rosh Chodesh, which is going to be on Friday. So to wish everybody a good Chodesh, and please God, we should hear Besorot Tovot and a Shabbat Shalom, and please God should have as we go towards Shavuot, and we are going to be worthy of receiving the Torah and the miracles that Hashem performs with us on a constant basis. Thank you very much.